Hey, the next thing we're going to look at is sweep picking when it comes to speed. And if you didn't see the previous video about how to develop speed on this instrument, please go do so. What we're talking about here is sweep picking, and it has a kind of a little bit of a misleading name, because when I do sweep picking, I don't sweep. I have individual downwards or upwards pick strokes coming right after each other, and that is a crucial understanding that you must have in order to practice this and get results fast. Because most people are trying to sync this hand with this hand, trying to create a sweep and then have it, be timed, so every single downstroke that hits the next string is also going to be timed with the left hand that frets that string. So it doesn't really work that way, and you used to practice like that, so I know what I'm talking about. But we're going to look into a different thing where you really consider each and every string shift a separate stroke, because it is. So basically you have alternate picking, right? And then you have sweep picking. And it also is a matter of how do you go to the next string. If there was only one string on this instrument, you would not have something called sweep picking, because it's all about the string shifting, right? Alternate picking is like you only have every downstroke is followed by an upstroke, and every upstroke is followed by a downstroke. So if you pick the D string with a downstroke, and you have to go to the G string for the next note, a string higher, then you use first a downstroke or an upstroke, or first an upstroke and then a downstroke. It's always like that, bam, that's why it's called alternate picking. But in sweep picking, we use the same stroke. So if I hit the D string with a downstroke, and I have to go to the G string, which is downwards, I just continue that downstroke and create two downstrokes. It's not one, it's two. Because what I do is I pick the string and rest it on the next string, and then I pick the next note. And this is a crucial understanding. Once you start practicing using that pick and rest method, I promise you everything will be changed. Now, I ran into this technique by accident. Suddenly it just dawned on me that I had to make this a scientific process of picking each string one time. So I was able to time it with the metronome and really get some precision in there. So it's not an effect anymore. It's something that you can use to create what we call directional or economy picking as well. Where you simply, go from string to string using that sweep instead of having a strict down and upstroke. Before we go on, I'm just going to show you this in close-up. Go download my free alternate picking course. It's alternate picking, but it'll also show you how to lay out a simple practice plan in just 2 minutes that you can use to build any technique. And it'll give you a practice method, a step-by-step little method that can actually give you what you want when it comes to developing any technique. So it's called Ingenium. So go download it right now. The link should be right underneath here. What we're going to work with is in this next close-up session here. It's just a simple E minor triad or E minor arpeggio. And you'll find it by putting just going to show it to you here, then we'll go close up on the right hand. You'll find it by playing the note in the 7th fret on the A string. And then you have a note in the 10th fret on the A string. Right? Then you have two notes here. You have the note in the 9th fret on the D string, and you fret that with your 3rd finger, and then you roll over and play that same fret but on a G string, also 9th fret G string. So you roll that finger over, you don't create a bar as such, but you simply roll it over so you can fret one then the next. Right? And then I'm actually leaving the 1st string, the D string, when I make that roll. Also muting it. Right? Then I go to the 8th fret on the B string, and then the 7th fret on the high E string, and then I have the 12th fret. Right? So and then I can pull off down to the 7th fret again on the high E string, and then start playing upstrokes the rest of the way. Right? So let's look into what actually goes on down here and how to practice it. So what you do is, instead of going from string to string and hoping that you'll just, do a slow strum like this and then do it slowly so you just get the notes in just the right time by having one movement across the strings. If that's how you're practicing sweep picking, it's going to take you like 10 years before you really get it down, because synchronizing the two hands, having the left hand play the right notes, as the right hand is also picking the string, it's really quite almost impossible. But if you go from one string and then rest it on the next, so you go pick and then rest it, pick and rest it, pick and rest it, and pick and rest it, then it's a totally different thing. Now it's predictable and now it's controllable. So if I were to play the arpeggio we talked about, I would rest it already. I have two notes here, right? And then I'm resting it already on the D string. So it's consecutive pick strokes, downward pick strokes, that says pick and rest on the B string. Alright? I pick the B string, rest on the E string. And then, you see, I'm resting all the time. Then you get like individual notes and you get individual pick strokes, and you have something that you can control. You can use a metronome now to practice and go. And you can start just without notes, just isolating the right hand, just going. It's flicks. Flick, flick, flick. Pick and rest, pick and rest, pick and rest, pick and rest. Da, da. And that's the secret to really getting down sweep picking. But when you play it, it's going to look like. It's going to look like one motion. Like one starting motion, but that's just how it looks when it moves fast. And in the brain, it actually almost becomes one motion. I don't think about the resting anymore. It just happens. So, I hope that you'll take this to heart and really start using this method. In the beginning, it can be a little bit more tedious and like, I'm not getting results, but that's because you're not faking it anymore. That's because you're not trying to, just have it, because we can get results once in a while by trying like that. But you're never going to develop a technique that you can really use. It will always just be an effect. Listen, I can play fast some of the time, right? If you really want to get serious here and learn this technique, then this is the way to go about it. This is the fastest way. So just get through that initial wall of, I have to take, so it feels anyway, take a couple of steps back to get 10 steps forward faster. But that's just how it is. So use the metronome to get timing, and then, take the exercises. And go download that free course, Ingenium, on my website. So you have something to put this into, a practicing method, a practicing plan that you can use to get some results here. So I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.